Welcome back to Real TV, and I'm Stephen King, the real Stephen King. And man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It don't cost a thing. But Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, is back in the news. And I followed the trial a little bit because it was a circus. The whole games that Lil Woody was playing and all the theatrics of the prosecution, the judge. I followed a little bit of it. But that whole plea agreement in the end was a mistake, I believe, for Young Thug because 15 years probation, meaning that you gotta walk a line for these people. And at any point, over any little debacle within your life, you could be sentenced and sent away for 20 years on the back end. Y'all check this clip out and I'll be back with my thoughts.
Now to that Channel 2 Action News exclusive on rapper Young Thug. Tonight, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office filed a motion to revoke his probation. The rapper was released on bond last November. We broke the story on WSBTV.com around 8:30 tonight. And Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie joins us now live from the newsroom. Mark, the DA spoke exclusively to you about this motion.
Yeah, this concerns the YSL gang racketeering conspiracy case. Last year, DA Fani Willis suggested to us the sentence for rap superstar Young Thug, real name Jeffrey Williams, that let him hit the street the night he pled guilty or nolo contendere to all charges he faced, was a sentence which could send him to prison for years if he crossed the wrong line. Now this. If your motion is successful, Young Thug would go to prison.
He could.
A new and dramatic verse in the case surrounding music star Young Thug, real name Jeffrey Williams. A motion from prosecutors at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office to revoke Williams' probation. It says, quote, since sentencing, the defendant has engaged in conduct that directly threatens the safety of witnesses and prosecutors, compromises ongoing legal proceedings, and warrants immediate revocation of probation. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis.
What our motion is concerned about is that we certainly believe that his post was to threaten law enforcement, which is all part of gang activity.
Jeffrey Williams' attorney Brian Steele told me by phone it is never appropriate to be engaged in any type of witness intimidation. It is never appropriate to threaten to murder another person. The prosecution's motion to revoke Jeffrey's probation should not be well received and should be swiftly rejected. It is irresponsible to file a motion of this sort when Jeffrey has done absolutely nothing, Steele said, to violate any condition of probation or threaten a witness.
We know that it is clear to Mr. Williams that the intent of the district attorney is to stop gang activity in Fulton County, Georgia. We believe the judge's order is clear, and that this is an intentional violation.
The motion says investigator Marissa Viverito is currently testifying in a gang murder hearing and indicates a judge ordered the witness not be shown on TV while testifying, but that a blogger posted on social media she doesn't want to be shown on screen. Well, here she is, along with a photo of the investigator. The motion says on Tuesday, Young Thug reposted the image, and the post went viral, amassing more than 2 million views. The motion says Viverito's home address and her parents' home address were publicly posted, exposing them to grave danger, and that hours later, an additional post emerged threatening the assassination of DA Willis. The motion alleges Williams' continued association with individuals actively involved in witness intimidation, threats of violence, and obstruction of justice constitutes a clear violation of probation conditions. Last year, Ms. Willis suggested to us there was room for accountability in Young Thug's complicated sentence involving 5 years commuted time served, followed by 15 years probation to be followed by a, quote, backloaded 20-year prison term, which would also be commuted to time served if he successfully completes the probation, which was loaded with lots of special conditions. I expect, Wendy, a courtroom fight over this one. Reporting live in the newsroom, Mark Winnie, WSB Tonight.
And we know that you'll be covering that for us, Mark. Thank you for that.
First off, if Young Thug reposted that message, that was real stupid. Jail is hard on anybody, but especially a person that had millions of dollars, that drove the best of cars, that had the best of women, ate the best of foods. To be inside that type of environment, it's a lot of stress on the mind. You know, so I understand in some ways why he took that plea agreement, because it allowed him to be a little bit more free from that situation. But to take 15 years probation when your whole life, this whole persona that you done created for the world is gang, thug life, I don't know how you gonna make money. You gotta quit being a rapper. You gotta change your whole life around. And I believe the lure of the streets, the lure of the industry, the money, the lifestyle, is just too much for this man to walk away from. And these people are smart. They understand that. They know how you live your life. And the way how this probation works is that you could do 14 years and 364 days. And these people can still come back and give you 20 years. You could do 10 years and they could still come back and give you that 20 years. That probation takes nothing off that 20 years that they put on the back end. So I don't even know what your legal counsel was thinking. I don't know what type of advice they gave you, but I think that was a real bad mistake, especially when the trial was a circus. You had witnesses recanting their statements. The prosecution was doing misappropriate things. The judge was doing misappropriate things. I think you had a good shot of beating it out all the way. But they got you right back where they want you at, because they know at some point they could find something to revoke their probation. So in my book, I really don't think you're gonna make it. It's not designed for you to make it. That's why they gave it so easily. For RICO. Who gets probation for RICO? But y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole Young Thug situation, man. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. This is Real TV. I'm Stephen King, the real Stephen King. And I'm going to talk to you guys later.